Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 35 today, and this is a very big one. It's the reunion, it's Hibernian v Dundee, and we're about to find out if we made a massive mistake. We're playing a Dundee side who have got further in Europe than us, who of course we won our first major trophy with, and we are now back after leaving them just 2 months ago in a big Scottish Premier League match. We're still chasing their rivals Dundee United, who are currently in third, with 6 points behind with a game in hand. And we've moaned about our own fixture congestion, our own sort of fatigue within the squad, probably because the previous manager hadn't rested so many throughout the year. But for Dundee, it is mad. They've played today, they've got one on Thursday, then Sunday. They've played Saturday, Thursday before this. They've got 6 games in a week and a half. It's mad. But if anything, that should help us. Their new manager, Stevie Crawford, formerly of Dunfermline, is the man who's been tasked with taking on our job. And look at that. Stevie Crawford, that's proof that I'm right to go. He's earning £6,000 a week there. They offered us no new deal after giving us 2,700. That is really cheeky, that, considering we paid for it by getting the money to get him in Europe. I'm not happy with that at all. But if you are looking forward to this episode, a very big one, a bit of a grudge match as things have turned out, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. Slight apologies in advance as the voice at this stage will slight to gradually slip towards Sean Dyche for the next week or so. I can feel it coming, but hopefully it won't impact on the quality of the videos. As Dundee are our opponents today, we've also got Celtic at the weekend as well, so plenty to look forward to and plenty that could go wrong. But perhaps more importantly, the last couple of games, I feel like we finally found our form. So you were with me for the 2 games in the second leg of the European match, which was awful, and then the Kilmarnock one away in the Cup where we were lucky to get through. We followed that up with a pretty fortunate 1-1 draw away at Dundee United. Hrustic got the goal from the spot for them, Jason Cummings scored ours. A penalty again going against us seems to be the way now still. However, the last 2 games, we've looked ruthless. At home to Kilmarnock, the same opponents we just scraped through in the Cup, we won 7-1. The rest worked for the lads as we got a hat-trick for Nisbet, who also missed a penalty, 2 for Boggarts, 2 for Jason Cummings. Eamon Brophy, he managed to get the goal for Kilmarnock, but it wasn't enough to compete. As you can see, it was 2-1 at half-time, and then we just flew out the traps in the second half. We really wore them down, and where other teams are getting fatigued now, the fact that we've rested a few might help us out. We then won 4-1 at St Mirren as well. Dallavia started this game and got a goal. Boggarts got another brace, and Kevin Nisbet one as well. So we've just been trying to manage the expectations and the fitness of our playing staff, and I'm hoping that will bode pretty well today. We have also had our youth intake just a day or 2 ago. Unfortunately, it's not the best one in the world. There's a few very young players at 15 who have got a little bit of potential, and you never know with these youngsters. It can go up, it can improve. Rudden, I think, is there because of his personality. Innes McLeod, not quite sure about him. Maybe natural fitness. And George Murray doesn't have all the talent in the world, but he's 2-footed and he's a little bit versatile off the right as well. So we've got a few to look forward to, but I don't think any of these are going to be starring in the first team, like so many others are already. But let's go and get into the first game today. The finances are struggling. We need European football next year. And if we can make it Europa League rather than Europa Conference, that would make it much more appealing for us. To do that, we've got to either win the Scottish Cup or we've got to get 3rd place off Dundee United. We can get closer to that by beating their rivals Dundee today. So it'd be a tough one if you're a Dundee United fan. For league position, you'd want Dundee to win. But are you ever going to want your rivals just down the road to do that? If we go and have a look at the team selection, we've made a conscious decision for the rest of this season. We are going to go for the fittest squad, not the best squad on paper. We'll reset that next year, of course, once we've got our own summer, our own pre-season. But because some of these boys have been so overworked earlier in the year, we've just got to manage things at the moment. And as a result, we're probably rotating a bit more than we'd like. I'm looking at Jason Cummings and thinking we could play him today. He'll come back in for Dallavia. In terms of the rest, though, we've taken Jimmy Dunn out and Stevie Mallon out. Both of those very tired. I don't want to start Saba just yet because he's 4 appearances away from us having to pay big money. $300,000, I think, to Dinamo. So I want to be very careful that we don't overuse him off the bench. I'd like to get him in for 90 minutes or so, and we'll only bring him off if we need a game saviour, because he does score those goals. If not, we'll play him in the cup games. But that means that Ryan Astley comes into the side. Vaux and Maishi play together. Vaux pushing into that box-to-box role. but it's still the side we're pretty familiar with, we know pretty well. We've got one of our other youngsters, Mark Flint, really developing off the pitch now as well. So for next season, if we can keep hold of this squad and add 2 or 3 around it with the director of football, perhaps there's something we can compete for there. But for today, the lineup is Hlachy in goal, Sutar and Doig the fullbacks with Porteous and Astley at centre-half, Maishi in the holding role, Will Vauxx with that long throw alongside Lee Farrell, and Bogus, the goal-scoring star, behind Nisbet and Cummins up front. The 3 of those have been scoring goals galore since we came here. We just need to shore things up at the back, stop conceding penalties. We could have a very good SPL side. But today, of course, it's more pressing matters. It's our former club, it's a grudge match, and we need to prove that we were right in leaving. The Dundee away fans will be up for this. And with 4 changes made, some slight weakenings to the team, we hope our fitness will shine through and Dundee's will struggle. Let's go and find out. So if we have a look at this Dundee side, of course, we're going to know absolutely all of it. They've brought Barry Daly in. Are they playing a front 2? That looks like a 4-4-2 to me. Barry Daly's in. He's been starring for them since we left. They had a centre-back in, Archibald. But I'm guessing he's probably a bit tired because he's their star player now. And I think they promoted him to vice-captain. Their backup keeper's Carmichael. So they are starting to give that youth an opportunity. And that's something that the 2 clubs both have in common. A lot of quality youth players coming through. I mean, I'd really like Archibald to be one of our players next year, but only a director of football can do that in this save. That's the beauty of it. Into the first half we go, though. It's Hibs v Dundee. And even if early on it's an even match, we've got to pull away from them when the fitness shows. Well, it's been a pretty dull first half. Astley's got a free kick on halfway. 32.5 minutes on the clock, and we've seen nothing yet, though Sutar's coming forward now. Finds Will Vauxx to Maishi. We will perhaps miss having Stevie Mallon in now, that little bit of creative spark, as Vauxx gets it back to Maishi again. Chance to deliver, but goes back to the centre-half. Porteous can bring it out from the back to Farrell. Chance to go left, but plays Maishi in instead. Bogus to Vauxx, good football to Nisbet. Lovely move, and Cummins puts it wide. But some of the goals we've scored recently are stunning. Lovely interchange through the middle, and that's the one thing that's starting to come quite quickly. Good technical players, but the fitness isn't great, and we've just got to hope we outlast Dundee. We've been the better side. They've not had a shot on target, but they've kept the ball better. Will that mean more later on? We just don't know yet. So let's go and tell the lads to give us what we expect, get those fans excited, and into the second half we go. But we might need changes at this point, as McGee throws in, Farrell tries to nick it, Richie Hosler wins it, Daly puts it wide. And that's one at each end now. Cummins and Daly have both missed a very good chance. And it could have been 1-1 if things had gone another way. As Astley finds Porteous, we play out from the back. He's got a chance to go left, but finds Farrell instead. Over halfway, time on the ball. Through ball if Nisbet wants it. Doesn't find it. Goes back to Vauxx. He goes into Maishi. Through to Bogus. Out to the left to Doig, who's making that overlapping run. Cuts inside on his right. Delivers to Bogus. Oh, he scored again. Every single game he's doing it now. He's got 10 goals for the season. 5 of those are in the last 3 games. Absolutely sensational. And at 22 years of age, the Pole is becoming a wonder kid here. We absolutely love it. And he's joining all those brilliant players coming through our academy. An hour gone, Hibs 1, Dundee 0. And it looks like the right decision. But let's go and make changes, as there's a couple of tired legs as well. And ironically, the Dundee fitness looks better than ours. I've got to go and have a look at the squad, because this is basically their first team. So who's out fitness-wise? I'm trying to work out who might be tired, who might be struggling a little bit. It's only really Archibald and a Doffin. And aside from that, they've got their first 11 out. Archibald's been a star for them since we went. Chalmers has been playing a bit more. They've put Kevin Stewart on a transfer list, which is strange as the director of football signed him. And they've done the same with Goran as well. Is he out of contract perhaps? No. Well, if our director of football wants to get him as a backup next year, we'll take it. But it does seem strange that given the amount of games they're playing, they're coping so well physically. What we're going to do, though, is make a change in the middle. Farrell's tired, so Flynn will come on for him. I'm not going to bring on Sabah yet, because we mentioned that earlier on. It's just about the appearance fees at the moment. If it's the better thing to do later, we will, though. Now, Vauxx and Flynn are both better as the box-to-box midfielder, but Vauxx is better on the ball. So we're going to put Flynn box to box, Vauxx as the playmaker, and back into the last 25. We'll make changes as we go along, but for now we're pretty happy. 15 left on the clock. Bogus is knackered. I'm not going to replace him with Sabah yet. I'm going to replace him at the weekend for the Celtic game. Nisbet will come off though. He'll be replaced by Dallavia up front. One more change to make and we'll think about it carefully. With just over 10 to go, we could still take Boggats off. We've got other options in there. We could take Maishi off in the holding role, who's been struggling physically. We've got McGuinness, we've got Jordan Jones, we've got good footballers there. So, do we take off Maishi? I think we do. Vaux will go into the holding role. Maishi will be replaced by Kyle McGuinness. And we've just got to make it work. We've got a few minutes left on the clock. It's not the best performance. It's certainly not vintage. But we've deserved a win. We've been the better side. And Dundee, they're going to wish they hadn't lost us now. But they could have offered us a contract and prevented all of this. And certainly one that their new manager's on as well. He's earning nearly as much as we are at Hibs. And that's really not sunk well with me. As Dallavia tries to shoot from 25, it's cleared downfield. Astley intercepts to McGuinness. Flynn finds McGuinness again. The fullback's very high up. I do worry if we lose it here. But Boggess finds Dallavia. It's not a concern. Dallavia hits the post. It's out for a corner. And I tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to get those wing-backs back to defensive duties. I'm so determined to win this game. I'm going to drop McGuinness to a deep line playmaker on support. And aside from that, I think we're going to keep it the same for now. But you will see the time-wasting tactics if it's still 1-0 in stoppage time. Hopefully, though, we can get a second from this corner and we won't have to worry about it. McGuinness takes it into the front post. Richie Hodsler heads away. Boggess will get there. He's got the man down the line still. Instead goes back inside to Flynn. He's got time on the ball in the middle and has got the chance to overlap on the right. Instead draws the foul though. Excellent play. 5 minutes of stoppage time. We're going to drop to balanced. We're going to time waste all the time. We're still going to keep the ball. We're just not going to be quite as intense without it. So we're still going to drop those lines as well. And I just want to keep possession. Keep Dundee struggling. They've pushed the wingers up. And they've got a throw in. I don't want this to happen now. We've been utterly dominant. Don't throw it away. Oh, what an awful mistake. I think it's been disallowed for offside. There was no chance that was off. The defender jumped, went absolutely nowhere with it. It was either Porteous or Astley. But we get away with it. We win 1-0. But a big scare at the end there. We deserved it over the run of play. I think Daly's goal is going to cause controversy. Because to me, it looked perfectly good. But 19 shots to 1 on target for Dundee. And we've dominated every other stat. We deserve the win. And we get it. We stay in the hunt for third place. We're chasing Dundee United. And we get one over on our former club. Hopefully we know it's the right decision now. And we'll be back to face Celtic on Sunday. We're back for the Celtic game. And although it may be the hardest possible way to do it against the probably soon-to-be champions, Rangers won 2-0 at Dundee United, so a win today on goal difference takes us up to third. But we are going to Celtic Park, so it's not going to make it an easy one. But let's go and have a look at the lineup. We're going to try and go as strong as possible again. We've got a 2-week international break after this, but we've got to bear in mind the players that are going away. So from our first team, that's Jimmy Dunn, Josh Doig, it's Maishi in the holding role and Lee Farrell as well. Boggess not playing for Poland this time for some reason. And Doig, as you can see, already tired, so he's going to have to come out. Esbrand will play left back. We'll bring Jimmy Dunn back in to strengthen the centre halves, and then he'll replace the tired Doig on the bench. In midfield, we can bring Stevie Mallon back in. I don't know who the best one to take out is, really. I think Maishi's going to be the most tired after international duty. He's travelling. But a lot of these lads are in excellent condition, but showing as tired. Boggess is on fire, but a really good player, so I don't really want to drop him out. So what we're going to do, Mallon in for Maishi, Vaux in the holding role. We're then also going to take Farrell out of the team. Boggess will go into midfield, Sabah in the attacking midfield role. I think they're better that way round, they are. So we'll bring Maishi onto the bench. He will replace the transfer listed McGuinness. And I think that's about as strong as we can be. Farrell, probably the least physical midfielder we've got. He's a good ball player, but away at Celtic, we're not going to have a huge amount of the ball. So it's a good time for him just to get a little rest. He's going to end up playing for Scotland 21s. So we just want to keep them as fit as possible. So that's the lineup we're going for. Jimmy Dunn back in for Astley at centre half. We've got 2 changes in midfield with Mallon and Sabah coming in for Farrell and for Maishi. And aside from that, we're as strong as we can be. Into the Celtic game, a tough trip on the road. But we thought that against Rangers at home and we managed to beat them. And that was with a much weaker side than this. So let's see how we get on. The big games might bring the big occasions. After 2 vintage performances, a poor one last time against Dundee, but another 3 points. Can we keep the roll going? It's against a strong Celtic side who I'm guessing are resting a few after Europe as well. The likes of Torreira, Christian, Sutek would all be in their starting 11 normally. It's a very good side, but they've still got the likes of Allen and Issa Diop, Aaron Hickey, the wonder kid. Pedraza up front's always caused problems at whatever side we've been with. So let's not get mistaken, they're a very good team. We're going to say we're underdogs, we're going to try and get the boys fired up, and we are going to drop to balanced, of course. But aside from that, we stick to what we're doing. Into the first half we go, we're at Celtic Park, and we've got to try and get a result somehow. Not going to be easy, let's see if we can do it. Well, Will Vaulks with a long throw, 15 minutes on the clock, and you remember how we conceded that late winner against this lot? I'm just watching the same doesn't happen here. Since then, we've put an extra man back for set pieces, but it's not made a difference. Pedraza's gone, a flying slide tackle all over the place, and in the end, a very good save by Lackey, and Mortius is there on the rebound. But it was almost a carbon copy of the way we lost the last Celtic game, and given the changes we've made tactically, that's a worry. We've got an injury to Sutar at right back, only a bruised thigh, so with the internationals coming up and Sutar not involved, we'll leave it, as Ledesma punches the long throw again. I tell you what, Celtic are great at dealing with those, and they're also very good at countering them. So we're going to get Kaminski here closed down. Malin makes the foul, gets away with it though. Bogarts can bring it away to Sutar. He's going to turn back here, you would have thought. He doesn't, he goes down the line. Nisbet loses out though. Pedraza back to Gomez. Time for Celtic to rebuild from the back. Pedraza brings it over halfway. Boggers can't get there. Nuno Santos down the left. Lovely play from this channel from Celtic. And Gomez gets it to the byline again. Good challenge by Sutar. Only holds it up though. Does not get the ball back. Back to Pedraza. Gets to the byline. Crosses in. Campana's there. And he puts it just wide of the far stick. The keeper was scrambling. He wasn't getting there. But with half an hour gone, it's 0-0. And despite no shots, we'll definitely take it. And this time it's a throw-in for Celtic on the right. Diop takes it. Vaulks heads away, but not far enough. Into the box, Sutar clears. Falls for Rodriguez, though. He recycles it. Doesn't let it out of our defensive third. Gomez beats his man. Good cross to Campana. And that one was in. An absolute bullet header from the centre forward. And a well-deserved lead for Celtic. We've offered nothing in this game. And we're deservedly behind. 10 to the break, 1-0 to the hosts. Well, half-time, it's not been a disastrous display, but it's very backs to the wall. We're going to try and get the boys out there, but there's nerves, there's anxiety, and there's a bit of a lack of fitness in some areas. So all of those things combined don't really add up to a good combination. Celtic have been utterly dominant. I'm tempted to go positive, but we've had long throws. We've just not taken advantage of them. As Lackey gets the ball to Dunn again. He's got time bringing it out from the back. No real pressure on him there. Finds Sutar, who I will take off in a minute because he's on a yellow as well. Boggers looks shattered. He's given the ball away. It's been brilliant in previous weeks, but he's not got the fitness here. We've got to look after these boys. As the clearance from the left back finds Malin. Can't get it in behind to Jason Cummings, and Hickey will pick it up at right back. Long ball finds Sutar. Vaulks intercepts, finds Dunn. Long downfield, he's missed by the defender. Kevin Nisbet's in. The keeper's come out. He's in no man's land. How's that been disallowed? There is no way on earth that was offside. Not a chance. An hour gone. And that is a great counter-attacking chance. Thrown away by some dodgy officiating. Celtic and Rangers getting everything again. And at the hour mark, we still trail 1-0. We're going to take off the injured Sutar. Mark Flynn will get a game at right back for him. Lee Farrell will come on for Bogarts in the middle, who's shattered. Malin will switch to the box-to-box role. And Jason Cummings up front, anxious, not playing well. He'll be replaced by Dallavia. Let's get into the last 29 minutes then. And just see if we can get a shot that's not going to be ruled out for offside. 10 minutes on the clock. I don't think we're going to do it. We're going to go positive though. Back to our normal tactic. Just see if we can push something at them. Now we'll go attacking. Stoppage time to go. 1-0 goal difference wise might be the best thing we could have asked for. We protected that sort of advantage we had over Dundee United. And if we do win that game against them in the split and match their other results, we still finish above them. So a 1-0 defeat, not a disaster there. I feel like we're hard done by because we defended well. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Nisbet was onside when he scored that goal. I might be proven wrong. We'll see what the report says. But I think we've been a little hard done by. We've been a good counter-attacking side. We played a very different way. And it almost worked out the same. So we've been asked why we didn't bring Jordan Jones on. He's not that good. He'll probably be off in the summer or very much down to the reserves. Sutar's out for a few days, but we've got the internationals. And after 9 league games unbeaten, albeit a few away draws that were a bit dodgy, the likes of Aberdeen, Motherwell and Dundee United, we do lose to Celtic. But we beat Dundee, our former club. That's the main thing. We've guaranteed Europa Conference qualification with a top 4 finish wrapped up. And look, I was spot on. Look at it. Andrew Dallas had an up and down game, made one high profile mistake which will garner attention. He controversially chose to chalk off Hibernian's goal on 57 minutes when it really should have stood. I knew it was onside. Why wasn't I asked about that in the media? They're asking me why I haven't brought Jordan Jones on. Are we protecting the big boys again? Oh dear, we deserve to get a point. We fought really hard and on the break we hit them perfectly. But if you've got poor officiating and no VAR in place, unfortunately that's what takes place. I'd still rather that than having VAR, don't get me wrong, but a very frustrating day in the office. However, we've got a chance to get Celtic back because we have a game in 3 weeks' time. We've got the international break, St Johnstone at home, where we will rest as many as needed. And then Celtic in a neutral venue at Hampden Park in a Scottish Cup semi-final. Last year's winners were Dundee. We were the manager. We beat Celtic 1-0 in a final with a brilliant last-minute goal. And this time, we've got a chance to recreate history. It's a new team for us, it's a new side, and it's a very new-look Celtic. But we'll be hoping for exactly the same outcome. Although maybe we'd like it a little bit more comfortable. But if you did enjoy this episode and you're looking forward to that one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel from 2 long-term stories, as well as 2 live streams a week from Dundee United. You can catch up with most of the playlists in the eye above on the homepage, and there's a link to the podcast channel up there as well. A massive thank you for your support with everything. We've just about reached 2,100 on this channel as I'm recording this video, and we're nearly at 800 on the podcast too. So if you've not checked that one out yet, please do pop across and press that subscribe button. It does mean such a lot as we try to close in on 1,000, and your support has been incredibly appreciated. But I hope to see you next time in 3 weeks in game, as we have got a massive match in a cup semi-final, a chance to chase a trophy, a chance to get revenge on Celtic, and of course we'll have our first game post the mid-season split. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching as always.